Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of our Symphony of the Cells class. I am Elisa Bonet, and I am a certified essential oil educator, and I also am certified in the Symphony of the Cells technique. Now, remember that all the statements I make today are not intended to cure, prevent, treat, or diagnose any disease. Please remember that this is for educational purposes only. So I'm going to be doing a review of what Symphony of the Cells is, and I'll also be linking the first class below. So let's get started and learn about this incredible technique. So what is Symphony of the Cells? It's a very easy and effective specialized technique where you use a series of essential oils in a certain sequence. You apply them one at a time, and their synergy can support different body systems and can help create balance and harmony. Now, our body is like an orchestra with every system working in a symphony. Let's look at some examples. First, our body contains approximately 30 trillion cells, 78 different organs, and more than 60 miles of blood vessels if you were to stretch them from end to end. And all of these work together, and each one is playing its vital role with the purpose of keeping us alive. So we have a total of 10 body systems, and they're all interconnected and dependent upon one another to carry out their function. You can see here it includes the circulatory, respiratory, nervous, muscular, skeletal, digestive, endocrine, lymphatic, reproductive, and integumentary. For example, our heartbeat receives electrical impulses from the brain and the nervous system in order to beat. And our skeletal system is obtaining those nutrients from the digestive system to build those strong and healthy bones. And our respiratory system, it needs oxygen from the circulatory system, which the lungs gather and then deliver. So you can see how all of our body is orchestrated in such a magnificent way in order for it to work efficiently. So all of these systems work together as a whole to maintain our internal stability and the balance of the body. This is also known as homeostasis, the tendency to maintain a relatively stable internal, physical, and chemical environment among interdependent elements. So when we have disease in one body system, it can disrupt this delicate balance and negatively impact other body systems. So our goal is to maintain this balance and support each system for optimal function. This technique is a collection of 19 essential oil applications to help different body systems, to focus support on symptoms and root causes of many conditions. It was created by Boyd Truman. He is a doTERRA top leader and expert with over 29 years experience in body systems and massage. And he has taught this technique to thousands all over the world, and it has been used with great success. It is a simple and effective essential oil application technique designed to support chronic challenges and protect and fortify the body. It was developed to bring physical, emotional, and spiritual harmony to the body. These are the 19 different applications. And in our first class, the first part of Symphony of the Cells, we covered basic, emobic, infectious disease, respiratory, and sensory. In today's class, we will be learning about hormonal balance, inflammatory, neurological, and purpose. Now let's start with some basic essential oil safeties and precautions before we get started. It's always a good idea to use a carrier oil before you use any essential oils that could be considered hot or require dilution, or for individuals that might have sensitive skin. In a lot of our publications, you'll notice that oils have a N, an S, or a D. So the N stands for neat. It usually does not require any type of dilution because the oil is so gentle. If there is an S, that means some people can be sensitive to the oil. So it's always better to err in the side of caution and use a carrier. And if there's a D, always use a carrier oil because that oil is considered hot and can most definitely cause irritation to the skin. In the protocols I'll be sharing today, all of them will include a carrier oil. Now, when you are applying essential oils, you want to allow the oil to drip out of the bottle and onto the skin. You do not want to press the essential oil bottle against the skin. Never apply oils directly to the eyes, inside the ears, inside the nose, or in the private parts. Do not add water to essential oils unless you want to intensify the effect. Use a carrier oil to calm and reduce the intensity of an unwanted effect of the essential oils. On some of these protocols, we will be suggesting that we use heat or water in order to drive the essential oils deeper. Keep oils out of direct sunlight and out of hot temperatures so that they can keep all of their therapeutic properties, and only use essential oils internally when the bottle states a supplemental fact. The exception to this is tea tree, which may not have an internal supplemental fact. However, it is safe to take internally. And of course, I am talking only about doTERRA essential oils. Now, before starting an application, it's very important that you organize all of the oils in the sequence that is outlined in the protocol and have them accessible just to make it a lot easier to apply them. You want to prepare the place where the oils are going to be applied. It could be on a yoga mat, on the sofa, on a massage table, or on the bed. Unless directed, you want to start with a person lying on their stomach with their back and their feet exposed. Now, if you wanted to use a little bit more discretion, or a person is shy or they're cold, you might consider using a button-down blouse or a robe, and then have them slip their hands into the armholes, and they'll have the back of that material covering their chest area. It's important to allow the person to come to a state of relaxation before you begin applying the essential oils. And you can do this by gently rocking them. You can put your hands over their back and then just slowly rock them very gently, very softly, and soothe them into a state of calm. Or you can also stroke them very softly. And this is going to help prepare the body, help prepare the nervous system to receive the essential oils. Now, you want to follow the symbols step by step for each application and use the essential oils in the specific order that is outlined. Now, these are the symbols that we will be reviewing for this presentation. If you order the book, Symphony of the Cells, the symbols that they use may be different than the symbols that I'm using in my presentation. So if we have a drop, that means we will be applying the carrier oil to the entire back. I recommend using fractionated coconut oil. It's a neutral, no color, no scent, and it also is great for your skin, plus it will not stain your clothing. If you see a hand symbol, that means you're going to apply the oil on the palm of your hand before you apply it on the recipient. If you see a thermometer, that means we're going to intensify the effect by using heat or water. And of course, this step is always optional. If you see a foot, then that means you're going to be applying the essential oils to the feet. If you see the shoulders and neck area with the drop, that means you're going to apply it to that area. And then if you see a back, you're going to be applying the essential oil to the spine and that entire back area. And of course, the nose means you're going to offer your hand with the oil on it to the recipient so they can take some nice, long, deep breaths. Let's look at each one of these in a little bit more detail. When you use a carrier, you want to apply a layer of fractionated coconut oil or other carrier across the entire back. This is going to serve as a protective layer for sensitive skin for the stronger oils that may follow. Add more carrier oil if you are using oils like oregano, cinnamon, cassia, clove, or thyme, as these are considered hot oils. Now, for the aromatic application, this requires allowing the individual receiving the application to inhale the oils from your hand, as I mentioned. Let them know your hand is there and instruct them to take a deep breath, as many close their eyes as they are in a deep state of relaxation. Now, with the hand application, this step is only to facilitate the application of some oils that may come in a roller ball, or to keep the process more sanitary. Roll the oil several times on your hand and then on the person receiving the technique where indicated. For the neck and shoulder application, apply 3 to 4 drops at the base of the neck and shoulders and then rub across this entire area as indicated with the arrow. For the application on the feet, you're going to slide your hand across the feet using only the remaining oil on your hands. It may seem like it's just such a tiny amount, but believe me, it is sufficient for this step. And so what I normally do is once I finish the back, I just walk around to the feet and then I just glide my hands over the feet. It's as simple as that. As I mentioned, if you see a thermometer, that means you have the option of intensifying the effect of the oils, and this will always come at the conclusion of the application of all the oils. And so you can intensify the effect of essential oils by adding water or something hot. This will help the oils penetrate more deeply, it'll create heat, and this will generate more movement in the body. Now you can take a shower, a bath, use some hot towels, a heating pad, or step into a sauna. And don't worry about the oils being washed away. On the contrary, it will intensify their movement in the body. Now, if heat is too intense, just simply add more carrier or fractionated coconut oil. For application on the spine and back, what you're going to do is add 4 to 6 drops on the spine, starting at the base of the back and then working your way up towards the base of the skull. And starting from the base of the spine, with your hand or 2 to 3 fingers, you're lightly going to slide your fingers up along the spine up until you hit the base of the skull. Then from the base of the back, you're going to make clockwise circles across the entire back towards the base of the skull. So just use your entire hand to make this wipe-on movement, starting from the bottom and just circling your way up all the way to the base of the neck. Frequency and dosage. If you are healthy and you have no real health conditions, then 2 to 3 months is recommended for maintenance and support. If you have some health conditions that you're trying to improve, then it is recommended you do this technique 2 to 3 times a week for a couple of weeks or as long as necessary, and then you can reduce it to 2 to 3 times a month. And for each application, you are using, as I mentioned, 4 to 6 drops of each oil. If someone is completely new to essential oils or they are younger, then you will start with fewer drops. Children, for instance, with a chronic condition or people that are over 50, you can start with just a couple of drops of essential oil. And of course, always remember to use a carrier oil, particularly on children and older adults. So a couple of common questions are, do we need someone to perform the technique on us? And actually, no, you can apply the oils to yourself. You want to get them on your feet and as far along your back and spine as you can reach. Either way, you are going to benefit. And this technique was meant to be easy for everyone. Can you use this technique on children? Yes, but you would only use 1 or 2 drops of each oil and make sure you use enough of the fractionated coconut oil or carrier oil of choice. You can also use the basic application method, which I cover in Symphony of the Cells Part 1. So let's get started on the first of the 4 different protocols we'll be reviewing today. First off is hormone balancing, and the body systems that this technique supports is the endocrine, emotional, and limbic, cardiovascular, integumentary, and digestive. So you could see the variety of conditions that can be supported with this specific hormone balancing technique. Everything from thyroid support, PMS, mood support, and even hot flashes. So let's look at how we would do this technique. First of all, we would start with frankincense, and the symbol indicates that we would apply 4 to 6 drops of frankincense around the shoulder and neck area, and then massage it into this location. And then whatever oil is left in your hand, you would just offer it to the recipient so they could take some nice, long, deep breaths. And then from there, you walk over to their exposed feet and then just rub your hands or glide them across their feet. And that's all you do for number 1. Number 2 is applying the fractionated coconut oil throughout the entire back and neck area, because the next oil in number 3 is going to be hot. So that is thyme. And so what we do with thyme is we will apply 4 to 6 drops starting at the base of the back, up along the spine towards the base of the skull. And then you glide 2 to 3 fingers from the base of the back up along the spine to the base of the neck. And then you start to do the circular motion, starting at the base of the spine and then just working your way up along the spine to the base of the neck. At this point, you will move over and offer your hand to the recipient so they can take some nice, long, deep breaths. Then move over to the feet and then glide your hands over the feet so that they can get the thyme into their body system this way. And this is the technique that you're going to follow for all of these subsequent oils. You then move on to clary sage, and you repeat those 3 steps: back, inhale, feet, grapefruit, Roman chamomile, ylang ylang, lavender, and then Siberian fir. Now, this entire technique does not take very long. I would estimate that it takes about 10 minutes to do all of these oils. Let's move on to neurological. And the body systems that this technique supports is nervous, musculoskeletal, cardiovascular, endocrine, emotional, and limbic. And look at all the different conditions that can be supported with this specific neurological technique. Everything from a concussion to fibromyalgia to memory loss and more. Let's move on to the essential oils for the neurological technique. Again, you would start with frankincense, and here you apply it to the neck and shoulder area, as I mentioned earlier. You would then apply 4 to 6 drops along the back and massage it into the back area. You then move to the front of the recipient to allow them to inhale it from your hand. and then you move down to their feet and glide your hands over their feet. Part 2 is adding that fractionated coconut oil because we're going to start with thyme in step 3. But then clove is also a hot oil, so make sure you add enough of the fractionated coconut oil to this specific technique. And for thyme, clove, aroma touch, lemongrass, melissa, turmeric, patchouli, bergamot, and peppermint, you're going to repeat the same sequence of applying it to the back, allowing the recipient to inhale it from your hands, and then gliding your hands over their feet. And the body systems that this supports is musculoskeletal, nervous, immune, cardiovascular, and digestive. So the inflammatory protocol supports all sorts of conditions that cause discomfort in the body, aches and pains, even UTIs and higher temperature in the body. So step 1 is frankincense once again across the shoulders and the base of the neck, allowing them to take some nice deep breaths and then gliding your hands over the feet. Step 2 is the fractionated coconut oil all over the back. And then step 3, we start with tea tree. And that will go across the back, along the spine, along the feet. And you'll notice that there's no aromatic component to this protocol other than the frankincense step. So from tea tree, we move on to wintergreen or birch. Birch is not available for sale, but some of us have received it during special promotions or special events. So if you have it, feel free to use birch, but more than likely you will have wintergreen as your oil of choice. Next, on step 5, we will be using aroma touch. We move on to lemongrass, Siberian fir, helichrysum, deep blue, and peppermint. You'll notice that on step 10 with the peppermint, you have the option of using water or heat to conclude this technique. Let's move on to our very last technique, and this is going to be purpose. The purpose application supports the following body systems: emotional and limbic, nervous, endocrine, and immune. Now, some of the conditions that you'll notice for this application are very common among so many of us. This includes aches and pains, anxiety, bronchitis, depression, feeling frightened, having higher blood pressure, trouble sleeping, even problems with maybe our self-esteem or mental fatigue, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stress. And so this is one that I think almost everyone can benefit from. These are the oils we'll be using for purpose. We start off once again with our frankincense. Step 2 is the fractionated coconut oil. And then we move on to melissa. And this one does have the aromatic component. So we start off with the application on the back, the aromatic component where we allow them to inhale from our hands, and then we glide our hands over their feet. We repeat this for yarrow palm and black spruce and bergamot. And then you'll notice that we come to number 7, and this is magnolia, and it has a hand. Well, the reason it has a hand is because magnolia only comes in a 10 milliliter roller ball. So you would roll the roller ball across your hand several times, and then you would rub your hands across their back and up their spine. And then you move on to the aromatic component and to the feet application. We continue with adaptive, cedarwood, and end with spearmint. So this is the conclusion of the 4 different protocols that I wanted to share with you for part 2 of Symphony of the Cells. Next, I want to share the substitutions available for some of these oils in case you don't have a specific oil available in your collection. So you might want to pause this video for a moment so that you can go through and see the first option that is a suggested substitution or the second option. And these have been selected based on the similarity of chemistry of the original oil in the protocol. Here is another page of substitutions that you can take a look at. So if you want to obtain your own book and your own chart of the various body systems, you can get them at truewellness.com. This is Boyd Truman's website, and I am in no way affiliated with them, or am I receiving any type of commission for endorsing this book. For new members that do not currently have a doTERRA wholesale account, you can get started using one of my enrollment kits below, or the enrollment code, so that you can select your own oils. If you are a current member of our team, the Essential Pearl, and were enrolled by one of my members, and you're not part of the loyalty reward program yet, I encourage you to get started with 100 points or more, and you will receive this booklet absolutely free. Simply connect with me and let me know that you have launched your 100-point order, and I will get this book out to you. Just a reminder that we offer complimentary wellness consults. You can receive a health protocol, you could learn how to use your essential oils, or if you have any type of question or concern, or you need any support, please reach out to me or reach out to the person who enrolled you. We are always happy to be of service. I also want to invite you to consider hosting a class. You can host for one, or you can host for 8 or more. And it's so much fun. It's super simple. And what better gift than to help others learn about natural health? Connect with the person that invited you to get started with doTERRA, or feel free to connect with me if you do not have anyone that has been supporting you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. And if you found this information helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up so that others can also find my channel. And click the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. If you are new to oils and would like to learn more, I have a free essential oil educational group that you can join called the Essential Pearl Life. I look forward to seeing you once again. Take care, and until next time, bye-bye.